Any plans to meet Elon Musk?
Well, I would love to meet Elon Musk, but he would probably have to have plans to meet me.
80% now from the votes are saying yes, they feel more inclined to invest. So I think you can go back to, you can be happy today with your performance.
You never know.
You never know. You absolutely never know. Thank you for being so brave. You had no idea what was going to happen. You faced all the questions. And I think what it shows is that you are in charge of your company and you obviously believe in your company, and it looks like the investors do too. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. How are you all this afternoon? We have got a special event, Meet the CEO series on steroids today, because we have our star guest live with us in the show, in the studio. He's just behind me right now. It's a very unusual set, the way we do things here, but it'll all make sense to you in a moment. We are talking ASTI today, Ascent Solar Technologies, and we're talking space, we're talking solar panels, all of the sort of stuff that we love to talk about here on the show. We're very, very excited. It should be a wonderful afternoon. Half an hour scheduled to be talking with Paul. I hope you all enjoy it. You have the opportunity to put questions directly to Paul himself live. When we get to the Q&A, it will be members only. We don't want all the bots and the trolls coming in talking nonsense, but we do want all of our members and investors to be able to speak with Paul directly. So what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about Ascent Solar Technologies. This is a brief look at the numbers. We'll go through all of these shortly. Paul will give us all the information on the business, what it's all about. You can see the balance sheet there and the profit and the loss and the solvency, the profitability, the amount of short interest. All of that will be covered in today's show. We'll also take a look, of course, at the website, but more importantly, we want to speak to the man himself because he's here in the studio with us, talking about Ascent Solar. So without further ado, would everybody please tap the like button? Tap the like button if you would like to share this out to more people. Have you done that? Very important. Once we go through 100, YouTube will share it out to more people. I can see we've already passed 144. And also consider subscribing. We go live 12 hours a day. So if we could get the likes over 100, YouTube will suggest the content out and more people today will get to hear about Ascent Solar Technologies. Very, very exciting business. So without further ado, let's bring the man himself onto the show, live into the studio. Here he is, Mr. Paul Worley. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon. Glad to be here, Martin.
Right, Paul, it's wonderful to have you here today. You've flown in. From, where did you come from today?
I came from Atlanta.
Atlanta. And are you in the Dallas area for long or just today?
I'll be here over the weekend.
So we're talking Ascent Solar. Now, a lot of people are very, very excited to talk with you today about this because it's a very exciting project, what you're doing. The idea of flexible solar, and people are interested in space and all this kind of stuff. And you have, if I'm right in saying, a patented, depending if you're from England or America, technology that provides a flexible solar panel, not the normal rigid panel. Can you tell us about the product that you have first of all?
Yes, it's very flexible. It basically rolls up like Christmas paper. Is probably the best way to look at it. There's nothing out there quite like it. There's some similar products, but it all uses crystalline in it. Our advantage of not having crystalline is it doesn't get damaged as severely with objects hitting it. If you look at our website, you can see where I think it was a Marine shot through our product. Wow. And you just lose power in that immediate little small area. The rest of those products still produces power. Whereas if it was crystalline, it would the damage would cover a greater area, and so it would stop producing in that area.
And that, I would imagine, is very, very important. If you've got solar, particularly for putting solar in space, and with all the space junk that we have now, you know, if you, like you say, if one part of it gets damaged, the rest of it carries on, right? Now, do you own this technology, or can anybody else rip this off?
No, we own the technology, and there's quite a bit of capital required to buy the equipment, start the process. It would take 10 to 20 months just to, if you took the equipment, then to produce it. So there's not only the patent technology that's protected, but there's also just a lot of capital that would need to be put into this to then come up with our product, even if you decided to steal the product.
Okay, well, that all sounds good. Now, obviously, with space technology now moving on, talking about Elon Musk with SPACEX going to Mars and all these things, we need to power all of these devices. We need to power all these services. And it seems to me, just keep looking at the camera, Paul. It'll come back. There you go. Okay, it's a bit unusual, isn't it? An unusual experience for you today. Yeah, this is what I do every day. We've just, there we go. That'll clear up in a second. With all the technology now and the demand for all this going into space and so on and so forth, we do need to power all those devices. I can't imagine of a better way to do it than solar, because the sun is always out there in space, right? So this is where you have a real edge, right?
Yes, it depends how far out you are in the orbit, but you get sun, a higher concentration and a longer sun in space than you do on Earth.
Okay. So the question is, with such an innovative, exciting project like this, why are we, and this is a very difficult question, I'm sure, to answer as a CEO, why are we at 11 cents? It sounds such an exciting stock, such an exciting company, such an innovative product. Do you get calls from Elon Musk? Do they want to put it on SpaceX or whatever? Why are we at 11 cents? The whole company, I think the market cap today is, if we look at it right now, it's the market cap is 3.6 million. It's a bit beyond my reach, but it's not too much. I would have thought a lot of our investors today could buy this up. Why are we down so little? Why do you think we're down here?
Well, I don't think that market cap is correct, because we have about 90 million shares outstanding, or a little bit more. So we would be closer to 10 million.
Okay. That's interesting, because that's the figure that people are seeing every day. A lot of people use Robinhood. As you can see there, it says the market cap is 3.61. So you're saying that's actually incorrect. You think it's a lot more than that? Oh,
yes, it is. We have the stock's trading at 11.5 roughly, and we have a little over 90 million shares outstanding. You're right at 90 million shares outstanding. So
thank you for explaining that to us. That's a bit strange then. So we do need to obviously address that with Robinhood, why the stock price is appearing to be so low, because that's what people are looking at. That's what people think the stock price is right now. Or it's the market cap. The market cap. Yeah. Right. Okay, let's take that to one side. So now we're familiar with that. What's your what's your balance sheet looking like? So what's your debt position, and what is your cash position? Okay. So as investors, we can feel comfortable investing with you, because it sounds a great product.
We just today paid off the, or actually it was yesterday, I believe. We paid off the last remaining debt from our original convertible debt offering from December of 2020. So that's completely paid off. The warrants associated with it that exploded that was paid off on the last offering. To kind of give a little bit of history, Martyn, I'd like to do that.
Please do.
Okay, so this company targeted multiple markets for years and years and years, and spent a lot of money on things like chargers for cell phones and some other things. And one of the biggest issues we had is we never got above 10.4 efficiency. Okay. So when I took over as CEO, I have a great group of people that work at Ascent Solar. I have great engineers, and I told them, I said, look, in order for us to tap into both terrestrial and space markets, we have to get our efficiency up above 17%. And it took us like 3 months, but we got it up to 17.7%. We really don't measure in space on an efficiency. We measure as watts produced. And so we've gotten our watts produced up, and we're doing some things now that we believe we can get our watts produced up higher than where we're at today. So really the space market didn't really open up to us until we got our efficiencies and watts produced up. So that's what's kind of opened up a lot of the doors in the last 6 to 9 months.
Okay, so where do you see it going from here? What do you think's the next? What's the next move from here?
We're talking to multiple potential customers. I can't mention any of them because all of them are under NDA. But those customers, at first now are really looking at really like our product. And so we're in various test stages with a lot of these potential clients. We are TRL9 qualified, so that also opened doors. That was done at the beginning of this year with Momentous. We announced a joint venture with Momentous. That basically can take our product and it rolls up inside a casing, so that casing would protect from space debris, radiation, and other things that are in space. It also allows the U.S. to do things to change the profile of a satellite. So if a satellite has a 20-foot array on each side of the satellite box, as we call it, they can roll up part of the array, roll up all of the array, and then unroll it and redeploy. So it allows satellites to be more stealthy. China does have that technology. They do it differently than we do it in Momentous, but they do have that technology. So it reduces the ability for a lot of people to track satellites if they don't have the profile.
Paul, tell me, I'm just looking at your position here on the ownership, and we are encouraged to see that you've really recently, in the last 6 to 9 months, purchased, it says here, the last transaction was made April the 12th by you, and you bought stock. It hasn't been anything since then, but no one's selling. What is the position there at the company itself? How are people, obviously you're buying in, but what's your personal interest and others around you? Are they the people that work at the company? Are they buying shares? Are they behind you?
Well, and let's go back to our offering. It was either September or October of 2023. I made a purchase of $100,000. We had another board of directors who made a purchase of $250,000, and then if you combined all the rest of the board of directors, I believe they purchased $50,000 or $60,000. And I have since purchased some other stock since then. So I look at it this way: it's going to be it's a goal of mine to make the stock I purchased at $288 to put it put it as a positive number, and and not a negative number.
What is the I'm going to go to the questions in a minute from the public, and I want them to answer, start asking me questions as well, asking you questions. What is your position? So what is the time out when things can start improving, and do you have enough money to carry us through?
We raised a little over $8 million a month, roughly a little over a month ago. So that gives us a good bit of runway. So we're not in the same situation we've been for the last year and a half. So anyway, that gives us a lot of runway to work with.
Thank you very much. I want to go to the questions right now. We've got some questions from our viewers. So we've got some questions now from the investors. This is your opportunity. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to members only, because we don't want lots of questions to go crazy and get out of control. So we're going to make this adjustment now, and we're going to go to members only. So if you are an investor in ASTI, or you'd like to be, or you'd like to know more about it, now is your opportunity. So I'm going to click members only. So now fire away the questions, all right? So now fire away the questions. What comes in first, I will put to Paul. He's no idea what's going to come in. This is completely off the cuff. So it's now over to you guys. Put your questions in, and we'll go to Paul at the moment the questions coming in. All right, here's the first one just come in. This is from Shay Majors. So I'll put this up on the screen so you can see it. And the question is... You were like, oh, is it going to take my head off? No, you're fine. Are you on track to meet 2024's revenue projections that were published during the 2023 Q4 earnings call?
A couple of the sales we thought were going to come in have been pushed. So I would say that second quarter... I'd forgotten what we projected. I think it was $1.5 million or something, is going to probably push some. That's probably the best answer.
Thank you very much for that answer. I do appreciate it. We've just had another one coming in. Let me have a look. I've got to try and keep up with this, guys. Don't give me too many. This is from John Granfort. John Granfort asked the question. Hi, Paul. Thank you for taking the time to be here. My question is, what are you hoping to see from the students in Stuttgart, Germany, as far as the solar panels are concerned?
Okay, that's a very specialty product used in an item that helps heat up water inside a house and also generate some power that's very directed into a certain area of a home or a business. And if Stuttgart's new product works, it will then be released in Germany and potentially some other European countries like Austria and some other places. But they've tried other products that are flexible, but they just don't work. So we're hoping this will open up some future sales. So it has to go through this process, and then it's got to get tested in a larger scale before it would be released into the public for the public to buy.
Thank you. Here's an interesting question. I must admit, it's made me think about it as well.
J Long donated $1.99 through a super chat. We believe in you, Paul. Any plans for residential?
There's a super chat just come in, jumped in the queue there. We believe in you, Paul. Any plans for residential?
All right, that's a good question. Okay,
you're very brave for taking these questions. Yes, you never know what's going to happen.
Okay, so there are potential plans in probably one area that would be rooftop solar. if we have the technology to go there, but we're expensive compared to solar panels. Now we have a lot more positives, like the cost of installation would this is an estimate from the CEO, would probably be somewhere between 15 and 25% of the installation cost of a normal panels on a roof. It would also can be done much, much quicker, but we would need to get our efficiencies up a little bit higher. And then you have a whole new marketing channel. We would have to spend money in studies to figure out what's the best way to hook each of the, what I would call our panel strips. And so, yes, but I would probably say that's several years out.
Thank you, Paul. The good news is we've managed to work out anti-reflection glasses do have something to do with cameras and lights and all the rest of it. Anyway, thank you for being so patient in that part of the video, and thank you for your answer. Now, here's a great question that came in before the super chat. By the way, we are in members only, so if you want to put a question to Paul is the CEO of ASTI, ASTI, ticker symbol, Ascent Solar Technologies. You can speak to him directly. He's with me here in person in my studio now. This is an incredible opportunity for you to do that. So please do become a member. If you'd like to become a member, I will give you the link right now. And we are asking all your questions. There is the link in the chat. I think it's just posted there. There we go. Right. Now then, we've got a wonderful question here, Paul. I love this. Where is it now? Oh, here it is from Brian. Brian says, how have you tested performance in space conditions? Good one, that.
Yes, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
We tested with NASA several years ago. We tested with Momentus. We just sent our product up into orbit with a group above. And so that product's going to come down in about 40 to 60 days. When you send stuff up into space, you have a range of how long it's going to be up into space before they bring it back down. Once we get that product, we will then be able to run tests on it to see how well we performed. The beauty about it, we have labs at our manufacturing facility at Thornton. So we can do a lot of tests. The other test was with JAXA, which if the viewers don't know who JAXA is, that would be like the NASA equivalent in Japan. They did a lot of testing on various
MSK donated
Just a second,
£20
Paul.
through a super chat. Thank you for giving us your time, Paul. Much appreciated. Always amazing to get insights from CEOs.
You're getting an appreciation. Please carry on. Sorry for that.
That's all right. So JAXA tested us at various radiation levels, we did very well on those tests.
Thank you for that answer. That is a very good one. I like that. This is from Vaz. Let me get back over to this screen here. What markets do you plan to address with your product? Is it space mainly, or are there other opportunities?
I would love to have a variety of revenue coming in. So we're not just looking at space products. It's very interesting. A lot of the Chinese flexible solar products that were installed in various, I would say, uses. That those products are not performing as well. So we've had a lot of, in the past 60 to 90 days, we've had a lot of, inflow of requests, and we're talking to various people about terrestrial usage. Like one is with a couple companies out of New Zealand, and Australia that are not space related.
Thank you. A question here, and this is always a difficult one, of course. The stock now is so down, it's 11 cents at the moment. So people are asking how, Brian Bynum asked the question, I beg your pardon, it was Jason Davis has asked the question. What are your plans to for NASDAQ compliance? Because of course you have to be above $1, and we are down now. How does that work? Because we know after a certain period of time you have to be up above $1 again. How does that work for you, and what are your plans there?
Well, we're getting ready to file our proxy, and all of that will be discussed inside the proxy.
You can't give us any more information on that, can you, at the moment?
Well, there's really two ways to fix it. If I had a huge order come in and the stock price jumped up to above $1,
okay,
for 10 consecutive days, that would fix the problem. And
okay,
the other is very obvious what it would be.
Okay, that's very, very. I appreciate your honesty with that. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. Got just a nice comment here from one of your investors, Team Fusion. Hi, Paul. Appreciate your time. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Caden Youngquist, I have turned off the notifications now. I apologize for that. Team Fusion says, in terms of efficiency, what is the projected lifespan of the solar cells before the effectiveness decreases? That's often discussed, isn't it, when you have solar panels? I think it's the optimizers though, isn't it? But tell me, what is it to answer that question?
So our panels tend to perform better than normal panels. Our degradation tends to run 4 to 7% over the life. Okay, whereas we may not start off in the mid-20s like some of our competitors might start off, but they'll degrade 30 to 50% over the life of the product. So ours doesn't degrade as fast, but we're not as high to start off with either.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Shay Majors has asked a question. According to your March 25th, 2024 news press release, where you published your 14-watt achievement, your goal of reaching 16 watts was supposed to happen by August 10th. 8 to 10 weeks. Are you there yet?
We're close. I'll just leave it at that. We're very close.
Okay, fair enough. What sets ASTI aside from Sunworks Solar that just went bankrupt? There's a difficult one. Are you familiar with the company at all? I've not heard of it, so I couldn't comment.
I think they do retail or commercial solar panels, but I'm not real familiar with them. I don't think they're a direct competitor of ours.
No, you have the protection. You are the only ones who have this technology, right?
As far as I know.
As far as you know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there going to be a reverse stock split? Well, you heard the comment from Paul just some moments ago. Mark Saxby, one of our avid investors and space fans, says, where do you see the future of solar in space as SpaceX becomes the biggest supply company and work towards Starship and flights to Mars? And have you got any connections there with SpaceX?
Okay. I can only address that as follows. We did hire a board advisor who is a former founder of SpaceX. And I can give you some why our products differentiate ourselves, especially when you're going outside the lower orbits. Okay, so our product weighs somewhere between around 1/80th of our competitor's product. So when you start talking about somewhere in the nature of $50,000 to $100,000 per kilogram to put stuff into space in the lower orbit, and somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million per kilogram to put stuff up to the moon. It's very, very expensive to use regular solar to go up to the moon. And most of the stuff I'm seeing out there, not products, but how things are going to go to Mars, they're going to go to the moon first. And then from the moon, they would launch to Mars. So, for instance, if you were going to put up, our product would save multi-millions, if not billions of dollars to take our product to the moon and then to Mars.
Have you ever met Elon Musk?
I have never met Elon Musk.
Any plans to meet Elon Musk?
Well, I would love to meet Elon Musk. he would probably have to have plans to meet me. But anyway, yes.
I'm very excited to meet you today. This is a very exciting day for me. So I am honoured that you are here in my studio. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It really does. I can't believe it, quite frankly. A couple of years ago, I was just doing my thing as the world piano man, and here I am today talking to you. I love it. Not a question, but real appreciation for Paul traveling all the way to come to your show, to come on the show. This is a massive upside for us, all retail investors. So happy to watch this interview. Thank you, Paul. I think
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. We just answered MSK's question. Okay, I would also like to ask the future plans of reverse split. Well, I think we've got an answer there, the best that Paul can answer. Why buy 15,000 shares 2 months before a potential reverse split? I don't think that's a question, really, is it? It's just his observation. Do you want to answer that? Why buy 15,000 shares?
Yeah, I mean, when you do a reverse stock split, or a regular stock split, it doesn't tend to change the value of the ultimate stock. It's whatever actions you would do afterwards that could change the value of the stock. So I'm not as concerned. I wouldn't be as concerned if I bought the stock 2.5 months ago. I'm highly confident in this company.
I'm going to come back to you on that. I think what he's suggesting is, I like to explain it like this: if you've got 15 slices of bread, and you go 1 for 15, say for example, or 1 for 20, you've now got a loaf of bread which is the same as the 20 individual slices. It's exactly the same. You've got the same piece of the business. However, when we get companies, yours isn't, thank God, but when you get companies dragged into a meme craze, for example, you got GameStop, FFIE and other stocks, and now we've got Virgin Galactic, which is a space company, dragged in to a meme craze. Those that want to short the stock have more room to do it, and off it goes again, and they want to see it driven down again. The good news is, if I look at your figures here, we scroll down and we can see your short interest, which is what's being shown here, is currently being shown at just 2%, which is very, very nice. It's not drawing a lot of negativity of short interest and so on and so forth. So for you, and I'm just talking to my investors now who follow the show, if this company does have to reverse split, and Paul hasn't said that's going to happen, but we can work out for ourselves. If the company reverse splits and the company carry on doing the right thing and a good thing, it doesn't necessarily mean the stock's going to go straight back down again, unless Paul and the company were failing in their services and they weren't selling any of the product and whatever. That's a whole different ball game. But buying it today or buying it after a split only really matters if the company's already in a negative sentiment and not doing very well. For example, like we saw Virgin Galactic coming down. So on that note, Paul, what do you think is next for the company? Where do we go from here? If I buy this business today, it's a good value, 10 cents a share. But like you said, the market cap isn't what it is here on Robinhood. And I'm going to have to go back to Robinhood and question why we're not seeing the accurate market cap. That's very interesting. What comes next?
Basically, when I took over as CEO, I set, multiple goals, but then also set things we had to solve to get where we're going to go. We've solved, 15 out of 20 of what we needed. We are we're talking to a lot of people about buying our product. So I'm very confident in the future of this company.
Fantastic. Have you got time for a couple more questions, Paul?
Sure.
Great. We've got a question here from, so God made a farmer. In agriculture, we are seeing more farmers turning fields into solar panel farms. Is this company looking to ever get into agriculture side of things for solar farms?
Oh, yes. And our product allows a farmer to also produce crops and generate electricity. You would use mine or use Ascent Solar's product on smaller farms. We're really not going to be designed to go into a 10,000 acre cornfield for multiple reasons. First, there's no infrastructure out there to take the power and put it on the grid. The infrastructure is not large enough. 1, 2. But that isn't really where our product benefits. It would be a smaller use, so it would all be behind the meter. It would go, power up the home, the farm, barns, irrigation systems and things like that. Or if you wanted to use electric equipment, it would power the electric equipment. So yes, we are doing that. Ours is tends to be approximately 20 to 24 feet above the ground, and there's spaces in it. So light gets through, and so does water. In addition, we provide some shade, so your water consumption is going to go down somewhere around 15 to 20%. So in areas, certain states where you have water shortages, that's the other positive you have. Water tends to be expensive in those states, and power is expensive in those states. So conceivably, our product would produce enough power for the farm and the home in a small farm.
Fantastic. That's very interesting information. Thank you for that, Paul. Here's a good one from James 007. Do you have a product you use on solar panel to help so they can say self-clean? When using space, how do you clean the product? I understand where he's coming from because I have solar panels on my roof in England, and when I go home, I like to wash them all off, just make them a bit cleaner when they got pooped on from a few local birds. How do you sort that out in space? I'm not sure.
That's a.
Do you need to in space?
You have. That's a very interesting question. You tend to have. I don't know how to answer that question. That's never been asked.
No, I'd imagine not. Yeah. I'll give you 10 out of 10 for effort though. Are you currently manufacturing solar module products for customers, and how long does it take to produce a solar module? I'm not sure I understand what the question is.
We are producing. We've had people that have ordered, or we've had customers that have ordered test products. We're shipping those products, and we're making those products. Yes.
Vaz says, Paul, would we have a chance as individuals to see the product in everyday civil life in a few years, or will this be industrially focused? Will we see it around the product? Probably.
If you define several years as 3 to 5, you may see it on rooftops.
Okay. Thank you for that. I think we're just coming to the end of our questions. Would the company think of considering a share? Oh, hello. This is interesting. Would the company consider a share buyback with spare cash on hand after the split? This can be good for a stock price. He's right there. If the stock splits and then the management buy up some shares, but of course you don't want to do that if you could use the money to build the business. But is that something you consider?
Oh, we would consider everything as long as we had enough capital to keep, to keep going, keep the company expanding. In that case, I don't think our board or myself as a board member would want to do a share buyback unless we had cash flow to fund the business on a go-forward basis.
Okay, thank you, Paul. I think we might have time for just one or two more questions. Thank you. Oh, got just a comment here in response to your question. Thank you, Paul. That's good. Shay Majors, when is the launch of the Lisa T collaboration with NASA supposed to happen? Do you know much about that? I've not heard about that.
The
Lisa T collaboration with NASA. I'm not sure.
I can't comment on that.
No, I don't know. Vaz, I think we'll pass on that comment there. What's your favourite drink? We get some funny ones as well. You can answer it if you like, Paul. Mine's a cup of tea. What about you?
I'm probably just a bottle of water.
A bottle of water, nothing wrong with that. Paul, it's wonderful to have you here on the show today. Thank you for taking the time to come and see us. We've had a wonderful audience watching you now who've been with us the entire time, which is absolutely great. We hope to hear more from you, and perhaps you could update us on your progress. I know that ASTI is actually one of our fans of, some of you at the company are fans and members of the show. You actually come in the chat and say hello from time to time, which is nice. Please keep us updated.
I will. Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? You're talking directly now to your investors. What is it you'd like to leave them with?
I have a lot of confidence in the company. Obviously, if I've invested in the last 75 days, I do have a lot of confidence in the company. I think we have a good board of directors. We've got two board advisors. One is an ex-2-star general who ran procurement for the Air Force, and the other was one founder of SPACEX. I think we have a great team in place. I have a great manufacturing team in Thornton, great finance team. We're positioned.
I have to say it's a very, very exciting project, what you're talking about. I mean, we're all now planning on going to Mars and all these missions, and it seems to me to be a very exciting business to be in right now. I mean, what does it feel like? I'm just talking now from one guy to another. I built this channel just so I could talk to the world every day and have fun, and we hope to become the most honest live channel in the world. That's my aim, with music thrown in at the weekend, of course. And you're spending your life trying to put solar panels all over the world, including in space. I mean, that sounds pretty exciting to me. How does it feel to be Paul Worley?
That's a loaded question, Martyn. There's good days and there's bad days. The good days are we're advancing our product. Those are the good days. The bad days are when revenue slips for 2 or 3 months, but that's just normal course of business, especially in space.
Sure, of course, I understand that. And what does it feel like when you have so much passion for your business, as you say, you're investing in it yourself, you're putting the money in, you're working on this is your full-time, this is your life project right now, and you see it at 10 cents. And when it's regarded now as a very low penny stock, and a lot of people won't touch penny stocks, how do you cope with that every day? Or does it not bother you? Some people, CEOs, sometimes tell me they don't care about the stock price.
I would say it does bother me some, but we have a great group of people behind the company that are doing, everything they can to increase the wattage output of our product, to help drive revenue. We've got an excited group of board of directors and an excited group of our board, the 2 members of our board advisory. They want to see us succeed. That's what makes me feel better every day.
I can imagine. That's a wonderful way to leave it. I'm just allowed now anyone who's watching the show to come in the last few moments before I let Paul go and comment. It's open now to general public, and I would like to carry on tonight, the party, and when Paul's flying back to his to his next meeting, what we're going to do this evening, I'm going to click a button now, which will automatically, as this broadcast ends, will send everyone to our ASTI, Ascent Solar Technologies, live concert this evening. Every Friday, Paul, we have a party. I was voted by Elton John as the world piano man, and I've just clicked the button, which means now when this stream ends, anyone who wants to keep the party going and wants to join in and have a bit of fun, we're going to have our concert tonight. Are you a fan of Elton John or Billy Joel at all, Paul?
Oh, I'm a fan of both. I used to live 3 miles, or I still live. Elton John used to live 3 or 4 miles from where I live in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll be doing some Elton John tonight, and if you get a chance to pop in, let me give everybody the link to it. When the show ends tonight, it'll automatically go there. So there is the link. If you want to join me and have some fun tonight, I've dropped it in. But Paul, I just want to finish by saying thank you for taking the time. What we're going to do now, this will be interesting. I'm going to do a live poll. Have you got just 2 more minutes? Are you able for 2 more minutes?
Sure.
Okay, please tell me if you've got to run. I understand you're a busy man. Right, I live in here. I can talk 24 hours a day. So, I understand not everybody can. So here is a poll we've been running throughout the show, and we're about to do a new one. So stand by for a live poll. Look at this. So it says here, ASTI, is this a buy, hold, or sell for you? We've had 29 votes at the moment. I'm going to give this link. So many of you have not had chance to vote. So let me drop this link in the chat and go and vote. And I will come back at the very end and see how it changes. There is the poll. Is this a buy, hold, or sell for you? Okay, there is the link. Now, what I'm also going to do, and this will be very interesting as Paul is sat beside me and we're thinking, oh my gosh, this is risky. Let me do a live poll as Paul is sat next to me. And here we go. This is on X right now. So let me do it in real time. ASTI. Do you feel more inclined to buy ASTI, ASTI, after hearing from Paul? So let's have a look. Do you feel more inclined to, invest in ASTI after hearing from Paul live today? Let's have a look. Now let's see what you do.
£1.99 through a super chat. Does Paul play any instrument? Can he still?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Right. So there you go. ASTI, there's the question. Let's see you vote on this. So after you've heard from Paul today, do you feel more inclined to invest in ASTI? Do you feel it's a good business? Do you feel you've learned something? And do you feel this would be a good opportunity for you? So do you feel more inclined to invest in ASTI after hearing from Paul live today? I'm just going to run this for 1 hour. I'm not going to have it running for days. This is just 1 hour. So it's just for the people watching this now. So let me post it. There we go. There's the poll. Let's have a look, see how you vote. I'll be interested to see if you feel that you've learned something today. And yes, it sounds interesting. There's the X poll. Go and vote on that. And there we go. I'll come back to that in 30 seconds as I wrap up from Paul. So if you could just go and do that. Let's see how this poll has changed. Oh, it's gone up dramatically there. Yes, it's a buy. You're saying it's a buy. 55% are saying a buy. 25% are saying a hold. Only 13% are sell and undecided. So that's very encouraging, Paul. You'll be glad to hear that. There you go. Votes coming in straight away. So do you feel more inclined to invest in ASTI after hearing from Paul live? Paul, you'll be glad to know 66.7% are saying yes so far, which is very good, right?
That's good.
It's always good. It's always a very tense moment for a CEO sitting there, and everyone goes, "No, after he spoke, we don't want it." It's never.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's not a good sign. But when we spoke, Paul, I said that this show would be live, unscripted, as it happens, and it was. So I want to thank you for agreeing to do it like that.
Thank you, Martyn.
Paul came into my studio not knowing how we were set up today, not knowing what you would ask him, not knowing what questions. And Paul, look at that on the screen now. It's now gone to, look at that. That's very encouraging. Very encouraging indeed.
J. Long donated $1.99 through a super chat. Paul, please think of us at the end of every day.
That's very nice. So look at that, Paul. I think you'll agree. That's very, very nice indeed. 80% now from the votes are saying yes, they feel more inclined to invest. So I think you can go back to, you can be happy today with your performance.
You never know.
You never know. You absolutely never know. Thank you for being so brave. You had no idea what was going to happen. You faced all the questions. And I think what it shows is that you are in charge of your company and you obviously believe in your company, and it looks like the investors do too. So Paul, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Stand by. I'll end the show. Right, just stay where you are. Let me end the show.
Okay.
So there we go, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in today. But that's it from me. We're going to end the show there. I'll be back this evening with our live concert. And thank you. Now, this isn't really going to end. I'm going to say it's going to end. I'm going to give this video an ending, and then I'm going to leave it live on the screen. You'll be able to see behind the scenes with me as Paul leaves. And that's it. So stay right where you are. But as always, click above my head, click down here. There's Paul waiting to get off. Over here and over here, you'll find more information on the series. ASTI, Meet the CEO, and anything that Paul provides me with. Earnings, of course, coming up soon. Oh, when's the earnings date, Paul? Any idea?
I'm not sure, Martyn.
Not sure yet, because it's moved a couple of times, but you'll keep us updated. We'll find out from you. Let me know when it's going to be, and we'll report it. We'll cover it live. I'll be there covering your earnings live, as I always will. Fantastic. Right. There we go. That's it from me. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.